Number 10. Donald Cerrone is the number 5th ranked welterweight in the UFC. Whilst fighting in the UFC lightweight division, he put together a solid 8-fight winning streak and earned himself a title shot against then UFC lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos at UFC on Fox 17, where he lost the fight by TKO in the first round. He made the move up to the welterweight division and has looked spectacular, putting together a 4-fight winning streak. He last defeated Matt Brown by knockout in the 3rd round at UFC 206. Number 9. Yoel Romero is the number 1 ranked middleweight in the UFC and currently holds an 8-fight winning streak and has looked like a monster, defeating all of the top middleweights impressively in the UFC. These include Derek Brunson, Tim Kennedy, Lyoto Machida, Jacare Souza, and many more. He last defeated former UFC middleweight champion Chris Weidman by knockout in the 3rd round. He is now expected to face current UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping in mid-2017. Number 8. Khabib Nurmagomedov is the number 1 ranked lightweight in the UFC. He currently holds an 8-fight winning streak and has just mauled everyone he has faced. His world-class sambo has proved too much for his opponents. He holds notable victories over Gleison Tibau, Thiago Tavares, the former UFC lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos, and many more. He last defeated Michael Johnson by submission via Kimura lock in the 3rd round at UFC 205. Number 7. Tony Ferguson is the number 2 ranked lightweight in the UFC. He currently holds a 9-fight winning streak and has looked very impressive inside the octagon. He has improved his overall game with each fight and has looked unstoppable. He has notable victories over Gleison Tibau, Josh Thompson, Edson Barboza, and many more. He last defeated former UFC lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos by a unanimous decision at UFC Fight Night 98. Number 6. Max Holloway is the current interim UFC featherweight champion and currently holds a 10-fight winning streak. He has made major changes in his fighting style, which has given him massive amounts of confidence inside the octagon. He has notable victories over Cub Swanson, Charles Oliveira, Ricardo Lamas, and many more. He last defeated Anthony Pettis by TKO in the 3rd round to become the interim champion. He is expected to face the current UFC featherweight champion Jose Aldo in 2017. Number 5. Royce Gracie put Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on the map in the early days of the UFC. He put together an 11-fight winning streak, defeating all of his opponents by submission in an impressive fashion. In his fights, he overwhelmed his opponents with his grappling, eventually getting the submission. He really showcased how effective Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was inside the octagon and definitely helped influence a generation of fighters to take Jiu-Jitsu seriously. Number 4. Demetrius Johnson is the current UFC flyweight champion and currently holds an 11-fight winning streak. Since making the move to the UFC flyweight division, he has dominated all of his opponents and has made it look very easy. He has notable victories over Ali Bagautinov, John Dodson, Kyoji Horiguchi, Joseph Benavidez, and many more. He last defeated Tim Elliott by a unanimous decision at the Ultimate Fighter 24 finale. If he is able to continue his dominance in the UFC flyweight division, he is likely to break a lot of UFC records. Number 3. George St Pierre is the former UFC welterweight champion and still holds a 12-fight winning streak. Whilst as the champion, he had cleared out the UFC welterweight division at that time in a very impressive fashion. He has notable victories over Matt Hughes, Nick Diaz, Jake Shields, Carlos Condit, and many more. He last defeated Johnny Hendricks by a split decision at UFC 167. He next vacated his title and took a break from the sport. He is currently trying to negotiate a deal with the UFC and will likely fight in 2017. Number 2. Jon Jones is the former UFC light heavyweight champion and still holds a 13-fight winning streak in the UFC. Whilst as the champion, he showed in his fights that he was just levels beyond his competition. He has notable victories over Alexander Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira, Daniel Cormier, and many more. He last defeated Ovince St Preux by a unanimous decision at UFC 197. He is currently suspended for using banned substances and will be eligible to fight in the summer of 2017. If he is able to come back and continue to dominate his opponents, he will likely be able to have the longest winning streak in UFC history. Number 1. Anderson Silva is the 7th ranked middleweight in the UFC and is the former UFC middleweight champion. Ever since he made his debut in 2006, he put together a 16-fight winning streak. He had just looked phenomenal inside the octagon, defeating his opponents in a spectacular fashion. He has notable victories over Dan Henderson, Damian Maia, Chael Sonnen, Vitor Belfort, and many more. His winning streak eventually came to an end when he was knocked out by Chris Weidman, losing his UFC middleweight title at UFC 162. He last lost to Daniel Cormier by a unanimous decision at UFC 200. He will next face Derek Brunson at UFC 208. Will this fight be a start to eventually getting a title shot? Only time will tell.